exploring Tadasana, mountain pose, also called Samastitihi. You find a position with the body that has knees forward. So go ahead and reach down, find your kneecaps, find the center of your kneecaps, and make sure that your knees are pointed forward. This might mean that you have to do something different with your feet. So whatever it is that you have to do with your feet is fine, just making sure that the knees point forward. You can have your feet apart a little bit, maybe a foot width distance. You can have your feet together, your big toes touching, as long as your knees are pointing forward. So find a stable foundation, something that feels really good, something that feels really workable for your body. And we'll begin to sway. So just swaying back and forth in a circle. Noticing how your body is balancing more into different parts of your feet. And we're working with the concept that there are 3 corners of the feet. So those are 2 corners at the front of the foot and 1 corner at the back of the foot and the heel. So the base of the big toe is 1 corner. The base of the pinky toe is another corner. And then again, the heel is the 3rd. We optimally want to be standing equally into all of these corners, with the weight of the body pouring down into the heels and then moving out into the balls of the feet. So now we're going to take a slowing down of this spiraling movement, this swaying, bringing it into the center line, nice and slow, so that you continue to feel the distribution of the weight and the movement, but it's just slowing down and coming to the center line. Moving to a place of stillness. Now in this stillness, you'll notice what part of your feet you're balancing into. And I want you to attempt to make a refinement here and balance into all 3 corners of your feet evenly. If you have a tendency towards leaning out into the outside edges of your feet, then you'll move more into the arches. If you have a tendency towards leaning forward into the balls of your feet, then you'll sway back and move more into the heels. And if you have a tendency towards dipping into the arches of your feet, then you'll move the weight out into the outside edge of your feet a little bit more. So standing in this beneficial balanced alignment, let's go ahead and traction a little bit with the feet, as though you're sliding your feet apart on the mat, and then as though you're sliding your feet in towards each other on the mat. And notice what that does to your legs. So as you traction and move your feet, slide your feet away from each other, maybe you'll feel the outside line of your legs, those muscles engage. Maybe you'll feel your gluteus medius engage. Maybe you'll feel the back line of your legs engage. And then we'll draw the feet in towards each other. They're not really moving, they're staying put on the ground, but we're squeezing legs towards each other, squeezing feet towards each other. And notice that you feel engagement through the inside, the adductors, the inside muscles, and maybe through the fronts of your legs, quads. So we'll play with that a little bit and find a position that feels really balanced in your feet by using your legs to either pull out or inward. And now we're going to start engaging through the legs. So it almost feels as though we're drawing energy up the body. It almost feels like a wave is moving up the body. So the arches of the feet have to lift in order for this to occur. So imagine that your arches are suction cupping and pulling all the energy up your legs. And you'll feel then a lifting at the base of your pelvis even, and you can just imagine this lifting for now. Imagine there's a lifting that's moving all the way up through your spine. Imagine there's a lifting that's moving all the way up through the crown of your head. So starting at your feet and moving all the way up through the crown of your head. Now we're going to lift the toes, lift your toes up and widen them, spread them apart, and then set them back down. Notice what that does to your posture and the standing position that you're taking. We're going to do that one more time. Lift your toes up and then set them gently back down. Noticing the weight distribution. And now taking an intentional, balanced position, again, with your feet. So imagining that we're spiraling upward, that we're feeling this energy move up the body, all the way through the crown of the head, and it's making us taller, actually adding inches to the body, to the height of the body. Squeeze your legs and turn them on as you lift the arches of your feet. Your kneecaps will lift. Keep a little micro bend so that you don't hyperextend at your knees. We don't want to push the knees back in space. We want to keep them in the center line. So keep a little micro bend, such a small bend that you can't even see it. It's undetectable with the eyes, but it's just preventing us from hyperextending the knees backwards. That engagement, that tone in your legs moves up your thighs, and then it goes into the pelvis. We want to be sure that we're not dipping the pelvic bowl forward and creating an arch in the back, and that we're not dipping the pelvic bowl back and creating a tucked tailbone. We want the tailbone to be neutral, the pelvis to be neutral. So standing with a neutral pelvis, engaged legs, lifted arches, we start to add the spinal alignment. We want to keep the curvature of the spine with the neutral pelvis, so you're not flattening out your low back, nor are you expanding through your front. But we do want to feel length, and we do want to feel lifted through the spine. We want to feel a lifting at the chest to our power pose. But we also want to feel the low ribs pull down so that there's lots of space. We also want to lengthen the side bodies. So really feel as though we're expanding upward, growing taller. Relax your shoulders down, relax your arms can be heavy, your palms can be open. And there's just a little drawing together of the shoulder blades behind your back. A little bit of lifting in the chest and that pulling down at the ribs to make the spine feel as though it's growing tall. And then head becomes extension of the spine. So we want to be sure that we're not moving the neck forward in space like we do oftentimes to look at our device or a computer or anything in our lives. We want to make sure that our heads are an extension of the spine. So draw your head back in space so that it stacks right on top of your spine. And then relax your jaw away from your head, from your neck. Relax your jaw forward. Feel that mountain pose, that power pose that we've created here. And we'll just take a few breaths. With every breath, you'll refine your alignment a little bit more. So you'll start to feel yourself dipping back into your compensation patterns. But as you inhale, pull yourself back into your mountain alignment, back into your Tadasana alignment. And take nice deep breaths, slow, steady, and smooth. Grounding into feet, growing tall all the way up through the crown of your head. There's a little bit of a chin lock here at the neck. So it's not that your jaw is drawing back, it's that your head is drawing back. And then you can also imagine the back of your head pulling upwards. You can even grab a hold of your hair if you have hair and pull upwards here. We're imagining that there is a central channel, a line, a string running through the central channel of the body, and it's drawing up, like it's pulling you up into the sky. Taking one last breath here, feeling that tallness, refining the alignment. And as you relax, you can release the hands, but keep your beneficial stacked alignment throughout your day as much as you can.